Oh, it's Friday night show with Aveman Bros. And I don't know what every time I think the off season is going to be boring or there's not going to be that much to talk about, then I'm like, I feel like we needed to do another show in between because there's almost too much stuff to talk about. What do you think, bro?
I, I got so many texts this week from you. And I didn't answer. I didn't answer any of them, and you probably thought I was a jerk. But it was just like I didn't pay attention to all that stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. Sure, whatever you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had time to look at all this crap. Some of the things I listened to, and some of the things I looked at, and I'm like, but it's like, geez, dude, calm down.
What? There were so many things. And then just when I thought we had the list of things, then Devontae Adams, so good to hear it. He says some very...
I like the part where he's like, yeah, it's out there that Packers offered more money, and I'm just going to say, yeah, they did. Screw them. He didn't say screw them, but he was like, yeah. But I don't care. That's awesome.
I think there's some insight from stuff he said that may rock some Packers fans' world. They might have to face it. They might have to face the inevitable between what Rodgers said this week and then Adams said. I think signs are pointing. And there's one caveat. There's one thing that I think could change it. But if that one thing doesn't happen, I think there might be some tears and some beers. Speaking of beer,
well,
Black is Beautiful, Black IPA from Delta Beer Lab, drinking for a cause once again tonight.
Well, I'll be drinking beers for cheers if it's what I think you're thinking. Not tears. It'll be cheers and beers.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a lot to get into, and I know people don't like it that our shows go too long. Actually, some people like it, but some people don't. So we will check in with you guys in a bit. We got lots of topics to get to. Let's start at the thing we missed. No, I can't start there.
Yeah, whatever. Start. You're in charge. I don't know. I haven't paid.
Okay, let's start. Let's do a recap of some comments this week. Okay, so I did check out some Andy Herman. He's our eyes and ears at Packers practice. Get my words out. And
Romeo Dobbs dropped the ball this week, everybody. So now all the people that were saying he was the next Devontae Adams, look out, he dropped the ball. Wait a minute. Wait, didn't Devontae Adams drop a lot of ball? Oh, yeah, that's right. He still is the next Devontae Adams, except he was in the 5th round instead of the 2nd round. Okay, back to you. Sorry.
Okay, so there was so I'm going to get through some things Andy Herman talked about. Number one, he was talking about Jordan Love. And he said it just doesn't look like, it's not coming along the way they thought it was. It appears to him that Jordan Love is thinking too much and not playing, just playing and whatever. So he talked about some light bulb, can sometimes go off for different guys at different times. Now, my question to you is, why would said player Jordan Love be thinking too much? What could be a possible reason why Jordan Love might be thinking too much right now?
I don't know.
Well, yes, you do, because there's the offense on paper, and then there's the offense on the field. When the field general get out there and change
that shouldn't
all the
affect
offense.
that shouldn't affect him.
Well,
when he's the quarterback.
If he's trying to play,
it's not going to affect
like
the fact
Aaron
that
Rodgers.
Andy Herman talked about how he's throwing wounded ducks out there. Jair had a guy covered so good that he didn't think it mattered, and then the guy caught the ball and ran it in for a touchdown. It's not going to, pick sixes and terrible throws that are dropped by Campbell, thrown right to him or whatever on a 6-play 2-minute drive. They scored a touchdown, and he apparently had a dropped interception and a wobbly, crappy ball and another ball that got tipped. And then, or that's the one where it got tipped by Campbell and then went in the air, and then Sammy Watkins came down with it. So that sounds great, or looks good on paper, a completion, but it was really a bad play. That doesn't change his thinking too much. That's just dumb, bad throws.
Hey, Brett Favre had a legendary touchdown to Sterling Sharp that we showed a few weeks back
Yes.
where he threw it in double coverage, went through the guy's hands, and Sterling Sharp caught it for a touchdown. On the stat sheet, it looks like a touchdown, bro.
Yeah, but when Brett Favre threw it, it was a laser beam, not a wounded duck.
I know. And you said it's something, a little teaser for everybody to hang around, because Ben did a few more quarterback evaluations, and one
Yes,
of
I
those
did.
quarterbacks is who?
Jordan Love. Here's a teaser. One of them was Carson Wentz.
Oh.
He did not rank very high. Another one was Jordan Love. He really didn't rank very high. And the other one is a secret weapon who ranked, are you ready for this? The same as Tom Brady.
Whoa.
So this guy, and I forgot about him, and it made me sad. So I went back and I did it again, and I was like, and I didn't fudge it. I just did it. I'm looking at it right now. I actually even lowered one of his stats down. I lowered his, what was it? Anticipation throws. I lowered it down one. And he's still tied Tom Brady. So he'd be 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever. Who else was it? Tom Brady. I can't remember. Kyler Murray. So Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, and this guy would all be tied. So he'd be at 7 because I'd put him ahead of Kyler Murray.
I think I know who it is.
I think you probably know who it is too, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
But it's a guy who, he's pretty good. And I wouldn't mind if he was a Packer quarterback, to be quite honest. Wouldn't mind.
Would you?
What I'm saying is this. There are options out there if Aaron Rodgers, if something should happen where Aaron Rodgers gets hurt and is injured for the rest of his life, or decides to smoke weed and wherever for the rest of his life, there's options. There are guys out there who are top 10 quarterbacks and have no home or aren't the starter on the team they're on for some unknown reason that the Packers could get probably for cheap and could be a great, great player in a Matt LaFleur offense, controlled system offense.
So if we know, let me ask you this. If the Packers know, including Devontae Adams knows that Jordan Love is not any good. All right.
Yeah, that's the other part about that Devontae Adams comment.
He tried to shovel some dirt on it quick, but it was kind of already out there. But if Devontae Adams knows that, if the Packers know that, and if we know that, and if the Packers are all in, and the Packers got to win this year because, Aaron Rodgers window, I mean, we'll talk about that real quick too in a minute. Should the Packers try to make a move for Baker Mayfield to ensure, if Rodgers goes down, they still have a suitable quarterback that might allow them to win?
Don't trade for him. That'd be dumb.
Okay.
Just the Browns are going to have to.
Browns are botching this up. What is this,
dude?
Stuff
we got to talk about that.
Watson. Talk about Watson. Oh my God, this guy.
Okay, let's start with that.
And the Browns. What in the hell are they doing?
This is the thing that's. I mean, for a year now, I've been saying I just don't understand, and I've been making light of it, by calling him Wiener Boy and all that stuff. But it's a serious, excuse me. And I just don't understand how people don't consider this guy untouchable. Untouchable. There should have been no team wanting to trade for this guy. The Texans should have outright cut him. Period. Not traded him. Or whatever. It's like the guy should not be playing football. He is a predator, is what he is. What he's doing is not different than anything else when you'd watch, Catch a Predator, special reports, and they'd have the Catch a Predator where they would have it on. They'd do some line, and the TV station or the TV news channel would show up as pretend to be a young girl or whatever, and then they would lure some creepy dudes and to some place to meet them and blah blah blah. It's the same thing. This guy contacted women for a massage, expecting it to turn into more than a massage. Multiple times. Once a week, practically. And different women over and over and over and over and over. That is a predator. Okay? The guy needs to seek some help, like mentally. Number one. Number two, there's no reason why anybody should have traded for the guy, even back then. And I said it back then. I said it before. And the other part is, they should have never did dirty to Baker Mayfield. And if I was a Browns fan, I wouldn't be anymore. I wouldn't go to the games. I wouldn't pay money to see this crap. And now this week they have their minicamp. What are they going to say? This is actually kind of, I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Is Baker Mayfield going to show up? Because a lot of people are like, because he's still under contract and it's a mandatory minicamp. So is he going to show up? Like, he should, technically. And I think he should too, because he looks great right now. Show up, talk to the media, do your thing, look awesome, be great, and make them squirm and look stupid. And what is Watson? Is he going to be available to the media? He should. All players need to be available to the media. That's part of the whole deal. And what are all the Browns teammates going to talk about with all this stuff? It's just one of those things where the guy's a creep and he needs some help, I think, mentally, because he's definitely a predator, dude. But the Browns were stupider than stupid. And they guaranteed the highest paid player, the most guaranteed money in the history of all time in NFL football. And he is just, that's the guy. That's the guy. That's like your highest, number one NFL player is Wiener Boy, sexual predator guy. Really? For a team that already had a guy who was a first-round pick who brought him from 0 and 1 win in 2 years to the playoff win against the hated rival Steelers and almost beat the Chiefs the next week, to he got hurt the year later and said, see ya, we'd rather have this sexual predator who hasn't played in a whole year to be our guy, and we're going to guarantee a crap ton of money for you. It's dumb. If I was a Browns fan, I would have been pissed. I was upset when they did it, but I'd be even more upset now and just say, this is done. Like, the Browns need to save face and just be like, figure out a way to get him out of there. And they won't. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because wherever he goes, if we thought the Brett Favre stuff, I mean, Brett Favre sent a picture of his membership to that one chick when he was a Jet, right? And everybody made a big hairy stink about it. And that was funny and stupid. This guy, he's inviting chicks over to a private room and just whipping it right out and doing, I mean, come on. That's way worse than just sending a random picture to some chick like Bart Favre did. So, I don't know. I'm done talking about that for now, but it's just like, wow. I mean, if I was a Browns fan, I mean, I wouldn't be. I'd be done. I'd be like, I live in Ohio. My new team is the Bengals. They got a nice young quarterback who's kind of a snotty jerk, but you know what? He plays well. The team's up and coming. I'm switching. My Ohio roots are going to Cincinnati now. I'm done with Cleveland. If I was a Browns fan,
it's crazy because they've built a pretty good team otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, like they've made a lot of good draft picks. They got good players on defense. They've got some other, I mean, so it's just such a weird move.
Well, not
to mention that, you know, we'll get into Chris Sims. We're going to reference Chris Sims because his quarterback rankings are coming out, have been coming out. And he said some interesting things this week in the players he talked about. Baker Mayfield was one of them. And he talked about specifically how good he looked before he had his injury last year. And this season before, he was very good. So it was like the guy was hurt, played hurt. The injuries bothered him. He played through them. He played kind of crappy after he got hurt. Does that mean you need to make this crazy move? I don't know.
The other thing I was going to say, in the Browns' history, let's face it, I mean, they got Myles Garrett, who took off the guy's helmet, tried to kill him practically. They signed Kareem Hunt after all of the things that happened with him when the Chiefs are like, nope, we're done with you. But the Browns snatched him up like nothing. So they have a history of questionable dudes on their team who, yeah, they have tons of talent, but they got some questionable morals or questionable background. So it's nothing new, I guess, for them to do kind of this sort of thing. But, like, it's almost like, how dumb are you? Like, teams are looking. Like, there's teams, like, let's say the Lions, right? For years and years have been crap. The Browns were finally making something out of themselves. They were finally a team people were talking about and, like, excited about and, like, pushing in the offseason, like, hey, this could be the year. This could be the year, right? And then they just go and blow it up with just stupid. Just stupid. I don't get it.
And they had to be the ones smart enough to draft JOK last year and some other
good
young defenders.
Some of their drafts are good, right? Like their drafts are good or decent compared to some of the other teams. But yeah, dude. I mean,
it's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. And it's really sad and crazy. And you also look at the whole situation and how teams like blackballed and AWOL'd Colin Kaepernick, but then this dude,
you're doing. It's like
weird.
It's all because of money, right? Like they're like, okay, our team will be more productive or whatever and make more money based on this. So they're more worried about a guy kneeling during the national anthem, which has nothing to do with disrespecting the United States. It's all about something else, and he publicly said it was something else. Yet they kept him out of the league and would not sign him. Now, granted, he wasn't like the same player he was earlier when he destroyed the Packers in the playoffs a couple times, which we all know and watched and sad and cried, but that's besides the point. But we know he wasn't that player anymore, so that's a little different, right? This guy's at the top of his game. But he's done stuff way more heinous. And people are like, well, it's an accusation. And I'm like, okay, once or twice is an accusation, right? Like 22, 23, 24 times, that's no longer an accusation. That's legit, like, problem, dude. That's serious issue, dude. That's where the report said that he had at least 66 women in the course of 17 months, which, like I said, is like once a week. Once a week, he just gets some random lady to do it. And some of them weren't even massage therapists. He's just like, oh, I'll give you like extra money, just to do it. And he just Instagrams some random chicks that he thought were hot or something. You know what I mean? Like the guy's seriously ill. Like
weird.
Serious. It's almost like a really bad like movie, like some weird creepy like porno movie or something. Well, it is kind of like, hey, we want to come give me a massage, and then it turns into something, you know what I mean? It just sounds, it's gross and creepy and weird and like, it's just wrong. And it's just, how on earth could the Browns let it get that far off? And the other thing, don't forget, the Dolphins almost traded for him last year, and the Panthers and the Falcons and some other team, I can't remember who it was, the Saints or something, were all in the mix with the Browns this offseason after he was acquitted of the charges or whatever in the criminal cases of whatever.
Yikes.
But it's like, so it's not just like the Browns were the only team who were going after him. But I think the Browns were the only team that would guarantee all that money and guarantee that if for some reason he got suspended, it wouldn't matter. But
that's true.
Yeah, I know. Zero's saying, I mean, that's what turned Ray Rice's thing from a nothing to a huge deal, because there's video evidence of him smacking his lady and her getting knocked out in the elevator. But, I mean, how can you have video? I mean, I don't know. And I don't want video evidence.
It's crazy, dude.
From what I was reading.
So now I understand. So now our quarterback looks better, but there's still some things he said this week. There's still some things he said this week. What did you think about Aaron Rodgers' locker room interview? Transition back to the Pack.
Okay.
What were your first thoughts? I stomached my way through the whole thing just because I'm like, well, he is their quarterback. I gotta hear what he says. What do you think?
At least two things that shut it out to me. One of them was, it is as dismissive as he could. Someone asked him for, I don't know why, I can't remember who it was, another dumb question by a dumb reporter. I mean, I'm sorry, these guys, who are these people? But they were like, hey, so since you're here now, are you going to be here for the OTAs, the last OTAs? And he's like, once this is done, I'm out. Like, dismissively, once this is done, once minicap's done, I'm out.
Once my required time,
That's it. Sorry. Now, why would you ask such a question unless you're a complete moron? He hasn't been there the first two. All of a sudden, he's going to change his mind and show up for one? No. That was just a dumb question, and he even knew it was a dumb question, and he dismissed it within a second with no, I'm out. He didn't even say, it wasn't even nice, and it wasn't even. It was like a 2-second. He looked at him and he was like, out. That was it.
Yep.
And the other one is the one everybody's been talking about, which is if I could win the Super Bowl and go out on top, or tell everybody that it's my last year, but then I want to play more. And I don't know. It might just be, this contract is more of like a series of 1-year contracts. That's really what it is. Every year at the end, I'll think about it, and I'll Bart Favre my way around.
But I won't.
But I won't keep it hostage. I won't take that long time. Because I loved it when everybody talked about me for a month and a week. Then, of course, as soon as I made my decision, everybody forgot about me because then it was Trade City. And then I got mad. I got mad because nobody talked about me and they were disappointed in my board. Well, guess what? Now nobody cares anymore. The only reason why everybody talked about you in the offseason because they were wondering if you were going to get traded. Not if you're going to retire. Nobody give a crap if you're going to retire. They only cared if the Packers were going to trade you. And the fact that you weren't traded, first of all, sucks for us Packer fans. And secondly, sucks for you. But anyways... Well, yeah, we know it was going to be. I knew it was going to be. Yes, Rick, come on.
Hey, look, though. Listen to this. Let's put it out there for Packers fans. Put together what Davante Adams said in terms of how he looked at his career and he looked at how long Aaron was going to be there and all this sort of stuff. Now, I don't know how much longer Davante Adams thinks he's going to play.
Apparently, he thinks he's playing forever.
Well, maybe not, though. Maybe his only a couple more years.
Listen, his abilities or his play doesn't require any speed, the ability to get open really that fast because apparently he, it just looked to him and wait forever and throw his back shoulder throws and stuff like that. He never doesn't have much right after the catch, so that's not going to affect him much. So yeah, he could probably play for a couple more years, do what he's been doing.
It was also interesting. His comments were his goals were all about his legacy and himself. Not he wanted to go.
If you haven't figured that out by now, that guy's.
I'm just saying, for all the times, all the people that thought he was trying to, win a Super Bowl with the Pack, and like that was a big deal to him. Number one to him was always him, just and his legacy and all that, and that's why he loved playing Rodgers. The most targets in the league every year. You get all those passes, you get all the yards, you get all the touchdowns. Yay! Anyway, so what he said though, in saying part of the reason he left, part of the decision was how long Aaron was going to be there. And then Aaron Rodgers, when asked, is he going to finish his career with the Packers? He said, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's put those two together. Let's look at that. To me, that says, I think this is Aaron Rodgers is planning to retire at the end of this year. Unless he wins an MVP. If he wins one more MVP, he will not be able to resist trying to have the most MVPs by himself. Because again, he's also a guy that's all about himself. So if we talked about his legacy, what's the one thing he can have that stands out? If he could have 6 MVPs, nobody else has ever had 6 MVPs. So that would be the one thing that would make him come back. But I'm basing on Davante's comments, basing on Rodgers' guarantee that he's going to finish his career with the Packers, and then all the talk about retirement and this and that. It's a series of 1-year contracts, all those things. I'm gleaning that right now his plan is basically to retire after this year.
I would think that's probably, what his plan is. But
And we talked about the Packers guaranteed money after this year. And wouldn't that be interesting? Is Rodgers banking on the fact that he doesn't think the Packers are going to come after that money? Right? They're going to let him have it?
It'd be so dumb.
These are all legit things based on all of that. And I just think those comments together make me think that's probably what he's thinking right now. I will play one more year and I'll take all this money. And, if we win a Super Bowl, great. But, yeah.
Hey, he thinks about retirement all the time.
All the time.
Just so you know.
I know all the time. Okay. So that and one other thing, again, that he reiterated, which was he talked about how, a lot of people are making a big deal about the new receivers and me not being here and how I should be here to blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he's like, these guys got to learn the offense. They got to learn the offense right now. And then when I'm here later in training camp, then we'll have time to learn my offense. Yeah. On the the offense on the field, because I've said for a while how there's the offense in the book, the playbook, and then there's the offense on the field with me. And so why are they trying to learn that? Why are they learning this whole offense, and then they got to learn a whole new offense with him?
I don't know. And I think it was either Ryan Wood or Jason. What's his face? What's his last name?
Ryan Wood, yeah.
Who asked, like, is that make sense to do that? And Rodgers was like, well, they got to learn, like, they got to be here to learn this offense first. And it's just like, why? If you're just going to do whatever the hell you want, it doesn't make any sense, really. But, okay, sure. They got to learn the offense that's not going to matter first. Okay.
At least when he's on the field, that's not the offense they're going to run. So I don't know. And this leads me into this clip. Now, I forgot this last week to share with everybody. It was one of the things
Hold on here. Let's talk.
What else you got?
Let's talk about Jonathan's quote here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think you put it up for a second, but let's talk about it just real quick.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. I'll get back to it here. Jonathan.
Because that's a good idea, too. People have brought that up.
But I think Brady's going to keep playing.
I don't know. But what is he going to do? Is he going to just wait and see, and then Brady's going to retire, and then Rodgers will be like, I retire, and then Brady's going to pull the 180 and come back again next year, and then Rodgers will be like, or no, not that. But Brady will retire, and then Rodgers will wait, and then he'll keep coming back. Like Brady will keep coming back, and Rodgers will be like, dang it, I wanted to retire next year. Tom, cut it out. Then he will retire. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. It is weird. He really should not retire the same year as Brady, yes, because he'll be second fiddle. He'll play second fiddle, just like he played second fiddle to Favre when he first got in the league. So,
yep.
I don't know. It's interesting what he's going to do, and Brady just keeps going, so who knows? But hey, Brady's a top 6 quarterback according to me. So what are you going to do?
All right, I want to share this because it kind of leads into what we just talked about. The offense on the field, the offense that they got to learn with Rodgers right now. Apparently, they need to learn this offense right now. And that's important. These guys need to be here and learn it. I don't need to be here. And then later they can learn my offense, basically is what he said. And we know that's the case. We know that's the way they play. It's just insane. No one else does it. We talked about it. Okay. So let's do what I forgot last week, which was Juwan Winfrey, his comments, which I think this comment blows me away. I'm just going to play it, and you tell me what you think about it, because I know what I think about it, but let's hear it.
Okay, well, nothing's playing.
Oh, hang on 1 second. All right.
Anyways, Zero, I did not watch the golf match. I don't really watch golf. It makes me fall asleep. So, and I don't care if it's quarterbacks playing golf. I'd rather watch golfers play golf. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. All right, I've got it set up now. Hang on. I got to add it to here, then we can listen to it. All right, here's Juwan Winfrey. Someone asked him about, the offense or whatever. His comments to me blow me away. All right, let's hear it.
For me, it was just expecting the unexpected. For me, it's easy to get comfortable out there, but, with Aaron Rodgers, you got to expect the unexpected. You can't be too set on one play because next thing you know, he can go in and change it. So, for me, it was just getting ready to experiment with all these sudden changes and just being able to expect the unexpected and not being too comfortable. Like Coach says all the time, be comfortable not being comfortable. So, That's really it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Be comfortable not being comfortable. The play is called. You should know exactly what your job is. And the other thing is this. Every play is designed, especially in the LaFleur / Shanahan / McVay offense, to get a certain guy open or, on passing downs. Right? And then the other guys are like secondary things. Like it's different. Like some teams, like I know like Raider Rick here, he's going to have a team where every play has multiple guys to get open and to beat multiple coverages, where the Shanahan McVay is to specifically take advantage of certain defenses, and you attack one area and then as that play is designed to get like one guy open mostly. There's secondary things, but they're usually just like in the flat and blah, 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 whatever. But the fact that you have to always be worried about changing plays is dumb. It's dumb. And also they say Rodgers changes plays using old terminology. So it's like, not only do you have to learn the regular terminology, you have to learn the old terminology because Rodgers hasn't learned the new terminology, even though he's been in the system for 3 years now.
You pointed that out, but to me, like, okay, and I'm going to follow up with some interesting things. This happened the week before Rodgers got back. This was at OTAs, was Winfrey's comment. I wanted to play that last week because it just hit me, because I was like, first off, you're right. The guys learn the playbook. They learn the play. They're ready to go. He says it's easy for him to feel comfortable out there, except when he has to play with Aaron Rodgers, because then you got to feel uncomfortable. Well, do you want your players to be uncomfortable?
And it's funny how he looks so good in preseason every year when it's the play and they run the play and, and it's Kurt throwing to him and he makes the catch and he looks great, right? And then when it's Rodgers, he's dropping balls and fumbling and doing all kinds of dumb stuff. And it's like, well, what happened? Apparently he's in his own head. Winfrey's in his own head because he has to learn 25 different things he's not ready for.
It's a thing I've been saying for a while. We've been saying on the show, and how it's detrimental to the team, the way Rodgers wants to play and do all these changes and things, and the offense could be good enough to just run the play. Everyone knows what they're doing, rather than this whole approach has been going on forever. But we hear coaches say it all the time. We want our guys to play fast, right? Mm-hmm. You got to be comfortable, know what you're doing to play fast. This quarterback, Juwan Winfrey, just told you, and it's not like it's his first year there. Think about Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, what they got to go through right now, and Samori Toure and anybody else. He just told you what this does to him. But Coach Vrabel says just be comfortable being uncomfortable, guys. As a Packers fan, I don't know. What the hell do you guys think of that? I think it's insane. But
well, you said something before we started too. Why don't you talk about that? Where Rodgers mentioned a lot of guys, but he did not mention a certain guy you just mentioned there. In his interview, he said Lazard and Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb. He mentioned the two rookies, and then finally he did talk a little bit about Sammy later on. But at first he said, "Oh yeah, it's good to meet these two guys." Then later he did talk about talking to Sammy Toure or whatever his name is a little bit. Doesn't mention Juwan Winfrey at all.
Nope. And he's been there. What? This is his third year?
Something like that. And Andy Herman is saying that when they line up for receiver drills and stuff, the first guy to line up and to be the number one guy is Juwan Winfrey right now.
Jordan Love loves him. The backup quarterbacks love playing with him. Like you said, he looks great in the preseason. Why is he one of Eckes' favorite guys every year? Eckes is like clamoring for him to be, on the field because he makes plays in the preseason. Because they're running base plays in the preseason, just like you said. But Aaron Rodgers did say that. Like, that was the other thing that stuck out to me with his interview, was that he is lobbying hard. He's laying the groundwork to lobby hard. He talked about with Lazard as a chance to come back and be the number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he called him a number one wide receiver.
Number one wide receiver. Alan Lazard, undrafted. Alan Lazard, number one wideout. Then he talked about Randall, and he talked about Sammy Watkins. And he's like, well, you got the first three right there. And then we'll see how the other guys kind of fit in. But we got to manage our expectations for these young guys and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. So Aaron Rodgers has already laid it out to the coaching staff, to everybody else, based on those comments. He's going for Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins are the three guys that are in the field the most. Forget this high second-round pick. Maybe
he hasn't even
once in a
worked
while.
with the guys yet or done anything with them, but he's saying these are the three guys. Sammy Watkins never worked with him before in his life, but he's already lobbying for him.
So anybody that got excited about the Christian Watson pick, sorry, not happening. How about this Romeo Doubs kid who's been impressive so far? Well, now the big guy's there.
You know,
it's crazy, dude.
I don't want to spend the whole show hating on Rodgers.
I know, but come on.
I know it's fun and all.
These are huge problems.
But a lot of people don't like it when we do that.
We'll move on, but I just can't, you can't ignore this stuff. Those were comments that he made that,
I know.
Come on. Randall Cobb at his age, great. You can have him on the field some.
Well, this is the other,
Alan
one other
Lazard,
thing. And I hate to, I don't want to keep bagging on him, but like, here's another thing Rodgers said.
Okay.
Ryan Wood, I think, asked again, hey, wouldn't it be good to be here to work with these guys? All these new young, maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it might have been even Bill Huber. I don't even remember. But whatever. I don't want to, whatever. And then Rodgers said, oh, well, my best friend on the team is here. And he's been here all offseason. So he could teach him how to work with me. This guy who took a $5 million pay cut, who's now only making $3 million, and I'm making $50 a year, but he's making $3 million a year. He can do my dirty work. He can teach them all what I want them to do. Not me. I'm going to go hang out and have fun while my best friend is stuck teaching everybody else what I want them to learn with a $5 million pay cut.
Truth.
He could do my dirty work because I am Aaron Rodgers. I am Aaron frickin' Rodgers. I don't waste my time. I can have my best friend waste his time teaching all these guys what I want them to know. That's the other thing. If I was Randall Cobb, I'd find a new best friend. I'm sorry. This guy is not your friend, Randall Cobb. No offense. He just took $5 million out of your pocket and he's making you do all this freaking work while he's out partying. So you tell me, or not partying, sniffing leaves and mushrooms and whatever else he's doing. It's just, that's another one that bothers me. Is Randall Cobb is supposed to be his like, what, vicariously teaching through it or whatever. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, Randall, show him what to do. How to
I don't have to be there. Randall's here. He's here off season. Yeah, he was here he's all here off season working with these guys. I don't have to work with him.
Okay. So for all the people that want to defend Rodgers, like, come on, guys, wake up to what he is. Wake up to how much more difficult this makes it for young receivers, especially. And also what we said, we may have said it last week. We may have said it 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. But we were talking about this whole thing about how difficult it is for young receivers with him, how long it takes to figure him out and work with him. And that's why that's why the Packers didn't draft receivers forever high. Why would they? Why would they? You know? So anyway. All right.
We still got to talk about Chris Sims.
We will.
And that's going to bring up Rodgers again. So, I don't know if you want.
We'll come back to that because that'll be interesting.
That's fine.
Let's run through some Packer news here. We got some fast ones. Now, what about this? We'll lighten the mood a little. Sammy Watkins, a normal guy. What do you think about that? Normal guy. Did you like his comments talking about, I was sad. I was out of football. I was getting fat.
I was getting fat. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And he's like, I got my 3 daughters, and I just want to see how long I can prolong this crap. It's like, all right, Sammy Watkins.
But look,
what do you think you can bring?
If you were bouncing around, nobody wanted you or whatever, you'd probably be laying on the couch eating some Twinkies or whatever too, right? Like,
well, it's almost like he gave up and he's like, well, it's
right.
over.
Yeah.
And then the Packers are calling. They're like, hey, we'll give you $1 million to just show up. Like, $1 million? Sure, I'm coming. Is he really in? That's the thing. That's what I took from it, actually. Is he really all in? And then they asked him, well, what kind of shape are you in if you've been sitting around? And he's like, well, I'm about 215. That's good. He's like, I'm thinner and I play better now. The injuries seem to happen when I'm heavier, so I feel better now. And maybe he worked out and got in, you know what I mean? Like, and got in better shape. That's great. And hopefully he can make plays. It sounds like he's already making plays. Catching deflected balls and making great one-handed catches. And then, okay. I mean, if this turns into Sammy Watkins, the number one pick, or first-round pick, okay, sweet. But it was just odd to hear him be like, yeah, I was just sitting around. I didn't think anybody was calling me, and then they called me, and I was like, do I have to go today? And his agent's like, yeah, get there today. And he was like, okay, well, all right, I guess I'll go.
To me, it just showed his humanity. Like, the guy was basically thought, I'm done. People are giving up on me, so let me just let myself go for a while. And then he got the call, and he shared that. I thought it was really endearing. I thought it was a really human moment. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well,
all right,
okay.
Couple other things. I'm not even going to go there because I don't want to talk about it. So the Packers may have a sneaky fourth cornerback that could be. Andy Herman was raving about Cassine Nixon.
I thought he was a special teams ace.
He was supposed to be a special teams ace, but apparently he was doing really good in coverage in practice. Now, that could also speak to the level of the Packers receivers' ability to get open.
That's the other thing.
But,
yeah.
But he apparently was doing well. As I rattle through a couple other things.
Let's talk about how somebody said, I think I would rather have a 6'2", 200-pound corner play the slot.
209.
Okay, whatever.
He's a beast, man.
Play the slot because he can tackle running backs, make plays around, get off blocks, and do things where Andy Herman was like, Rasul Douglas can't play the slot. He can't. There's no way. Jair's got to play the slot. Yeah, let's put a little tiny guy who gets hurt all the time. Let's have him play the slot. No. And what do we find out? Oh, yeah, Rasul Douglas is playing the slot along with this guy. Those are the two guys who are lined up in the slot. And why? Because the Packers, hopefully, Joe Barry is not as dumb as the other guys are. And, yeah, you put a guy in there, and who does he remind you of? Oh, yeah, Charles Woodson. And what did Charles Woodson play? Oh, yeah, the slot, the star spot where he would just make plays and tackle dudes and blitz and do kinds of crazy stuff. Hello? I don't understand how people thought that wasn't going to happen. I've been saying it the whole offseason. Like, when Jair's back, this guy needs to be in the slot. Okay, if it's an obvious passing down, then put him to the outside and put Jair on the quick little guy, sure. But I don't know. Yeah, it boggles the mind because Andy Herman all offseason was like, "Oh yeah, there's no way Rasul Douglas. I mean, he can't play the slot. Are they going to get another corner to play the slot? What are they going to possibly do? Why did they sign? I mean, it's great that they signed him back, but they have 3 outside corners. I mean, which one of these guys is going to play the slot? Well, how about the big guy who can hold up against the run, get off blocks, and make plays? Oh, duh. Okay, back to you. I just had to bring that up.
I thought it was, it was funny. Now I know Jair got to play a little slot, and he was there at times too, because he did say, "Well, they line him up there, and he likes it because he'll go sack the quarterback."
Yeah, it happened one time on a mistake. Like, I saw the thing. I tried to send it to Mo and ended up sending something weird. It didn't work right. I really suck at sending text, by the way. I thought I clipped a 15-second, just off topic, I thought I clipped a 15-second video of a guy saying, yeah, my girlfriend wanted me to quit eating Taco Bell, and I'm not with her anymore. And it was a joke, and it was like, like him just saying, because our mom and dad, the joke is our mom and dad eat Taco Bell like 5 times a week, which is scary for 70-year-old people to eat Taco Bell.
If you play it in your text message thing, it's only the 15 seconds.
No, it's more.
But if you click the link, it goes.
Okay, whatever. Anyways,
what did you end up sending?
I think I sent the whole 3 minutes.
5-year-old nephew, what?
A guy saying the F word like 17 times, and I'm like, God dang it, how did I screw that up? Because I swear I split it down in 15 seconds, and anyways, yeah, sorry. Olivia, don't interrupt when I'm telling a story live on freaking YouTube. Come on, kid, what the crap? Anyways, so there you go. See, all my family comes up. They were watching Stranger Things together.
Ah.
I can't watch that show. It's too scary for me.
Well, of course. All right. So Dave Zero was ready to start over. He said to David, and David says he was too. Now
I
they're
thought
ready
I
to start
was,
with
but
Jordan Love, and you got to give us your Jordan Love.
after putting him through the Ben's quarterback ranking system, I don't think I'm ready.
All right. So maybe.
Oh yeah, Mom's
maybe
only
they'll change
69. Mom's 69. All right.
Maybe
all right.
maybe they'll change their mind. Mom's
Mom,
on
by the end of
78.
the summer, you'll be there.
All right. So let me go through a
Sorry,
couple of
Mom.
quick notes about what was said here this week in Packers practice. Andy Herman also talked about, David Bakhtiari, the concern, and how we really don't know what the heck is going on with this guy.
The highest paid guy in shorts.
Other than the fact that he is still not doing anything and had fluid have to be drained from his knee after he played 29 snaps against the Lions last year after sitting out for a super long time. So yikes. There's a lot of money tied up in him. There's a lot put on that. And it makes, to me, the thing that we talked about this offseason, which was you saw enough from Yash. You suck at drafting tackles. Would you please get him in a 4-5-year contract now, because of all these things, because of the Bakhtiari issue, and because of the fact that tackles are hard to find? But they didn't do that. They played the 1-year game with Yash, and now it might bite him in the ass once again.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Robert Tonyan, but not luckily, but he got hurt, which ruined it for him. But they should have signed all these guys. They should have signed players like Micah Hyde when they knew that he was good to a long contract for cheaper. I mean, they did it with Devontae Adams. The first contract, his second contract that he signed, wasn't like super expensive because he wasn't good yet. They did it before he was good. And he was good, but he wasn't like as good as he would become. Like, if you could tell the guy's going to be something, he went from a crap dog to like really good. He's going to keep getting better, and you could see it in his technique and his ability and his athletic skills and stuff. Take advantage of that, and maybe
going way back, they even did that with Rodgers in his second contract.
Oh, did they?
He was pretty cheap there for a while. Remember?
Yeah.
Like before, because he didn't get to play for 3 years, right?
And
then,
yeah.
Then they were like, then they gave him the extension before he got to start his first game, and he came out in that whole new thing. And that through the end of that, he was pretty. It wasn't until after that, that he got super expensive. But yeah, they were smart enough to do it. I just think, and then listen, the guys like Andy Herman say, well, Yash was okay. I know a lot of other people thought he did better than I did, but he was okay. I'm like, the guy was pretty damn good. Like, did he screw up sometimes or have some things to work on?
Everybody
Sure.
screws up. You think Big Bakhtiari is perfect on every freaking play?
According to Andy Herman, he looked like awesome in those 29 snaps against the Lions.
Yeah, I know. He thinks it's the greatest 29 snaps of all time.
I think some of these guys that talk about the Packers try to placate a little bit to the fan base a little by saying the Stars are super awesome.
Yeah.
And dudes that the Packers decided to not invest in, or maybe they're just okay. Maybe that was a wise move. Like my man LP, like Yash, for example, because Yash, come on. How many tackles, Ben? How we have hardly any tackles on this team.
Well, we drafted a bunch. Here's the other thing that's
that
weird.
Are any good?
Well, they keep drafting tackles and they move them to guard like dum-dums, and then they can't play guard like Royce Newman. Dumb. The other thing,
Rodgers likes Royce though.
Hey,
who's
our starting center? 6'5", 320-pound monster.
He's a big guy.
And who's his backup right now? Who's been lined up as the number 2 guy? Do you know who it is?
No.
Zach Tom. The guy who they say who is a tackle and who needs to build up muscle at tackle. That guy is the backup to the big giant monster center, is the skinniest, weakest of all the offensive linemen. That's your center. Backup. It doesn't make much sense to me. But whatever. But you don't have Lukey Patrick no more. So guess what? I guess we got to do whatever we can.
Good luck. That one, I know Bruce said he was replaceable. I know a lot of people think that. But I'm telling you, Lucas
We'll
Patrick,
see.
ever since the first time they had him, remember he was an undrafted rookie and
Yeah.
he played in games. He came in for injured guys, and that was when I first discovered him. He came in and subbed for like Corey Linsley, who got hurt in a Dallas game, and he played pretty damn well. And I was like, who is this guy? I like this guy. And that's where I started noticing him. Now, again, he was just only coming in for injuries and a backup for those first couple of years. And then they forced him into a backup again last year. But you're always going to have injuries.
Yeah.
And that dude was there for you, and he covered your ass over and over again, and you guys wouldn't even pay him $4 million a year to keep him around.
And you're paying, what did I say it was? $11 million to Zadarius Smith to just not even be on the team. Awesome.
We'll see how it goes. But these young guys, the young offensive linemen, better step up, or they're going to be in trouble.
Well,
And
they
your
got
super expensive quarterback is going to be on his ass a lot.
the lineups have been Yash, Runyon Bunyan, Myers, Royce, and Cole Van Landen. Apparently, a guy who couldn't even make the team now is a starting right tackle. Awesome. And then sometimes they take Van Landen out and they put Royce at right tackle, which is probably a smarter move, to be honest. He's a much better tackle than a guard. I don't know why they don't even bother. Like, why bother playing him at guard? He shouldn't be. And then they put Jake Hansen or something at right guard, who I thought was a center, but apparently he's not. He's not good enough to be. He's not good enough to be the backup center. But he's good enough to be the backup right guard, even though he was a center. I mean, and now they're playing a guy who's undersized to play center, who's athletic and like got quick feet. You're gonna have him play center. We saw what quick feet does with Royce Newman when he steps on Aaron Rodgers' feet and screws up the play because he's got such quick feet. Because he's used to backpedaling at tackle, but he was playing guard. It doesn't work. Stop switching guys all over the goddamn place and just play them where they're supposed to be played. Royce Newman's a tackle, not a guard. I don't get it. Whatever. But anyways, there's a lot of moving and shaking. And then also sometimes they put Cole Van Landen at right tackle or left tackle, and they put they did, and they put Yash at right tackle just to give him a couple of reps at right tackle. See if because just in case Bakhtiari's back. And then we got to make sure that Yash can play right tackle. How about if we just take a guy and he learns the one spot and then he's really, really good at that spot? I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Sometimes, like, if you can really learn your spot, you can be pretty dang good at it and know exactly what to do on every single play. Even if Rodgers changes the play, you would know what the next thing to do is on that play. I don't know. But when you're learning 8 different spots like Lucas Patrick had to do, we're just lucky he went to Duke and was a genius or whatever.
They got to understand that not everybody is as versatile as him. Not everybody is as able to jump in there and do whatever like he can. Not everybody can do that.
But they were used to Billy Turner, who could do a lot of things. Or he could line up at a lot of places. He couldn't do it.
That's true.
Right?
He knew where to line up. Yeah.
He knew where to line up. You're going to be right guard. Okay. You're going to be left tackle. Okay. Now do the thing you're supposed to do. I can't do that part. But I'm versatile enough to line up where you need me to. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Look, and it's still the same guys, Steno and Butkus, and they rave about him like, oh, man. Look at this, David. You can't turn a bishop into a pawn. I suppose not. You got to be careful, man. Some guys should be doing something. And Royce Newman screwed up as much physically last year as he did mentally, but mentally was definitely an issue. And we talked about a tackle most of the time, like you're on the outside. So whatever guy comes on the outside, that's who you block, right?
Well, your first move, especially on passing downs, is
and
backwards.
You're going back. Yeah, right.
Your first move is backwards and to the outside, whatever side you're on. If you're on right tackle, you're moving a little bit to the right, right? That's what you do. And your guy has to get all the way around you to get there. When you play guard, the guy in front of you could go either way. It's almost like playing slot corner. It's harder, actually, than outside corner at first, right? Eventually, it becomes easier because, there's more options at first to get beat off the line because they can go one way or the other. But then once you figure, like, if you can hold up to that guy and stop him, then you're good, right? Like Lucas Patrick. Usually, if Lucas Patrick got beat, it was like right away. Right? Like he didn't get – if at guard, you usually don't get beat like the long game, except for if it's Zadarius Smith because he just runs right at you and just plows you over. right? So that's the only way where you'd get beat because Darius doesn't do moves. He just wants to run over his guy. But anyways, but that's the thing that that Runyon or not Runyon, but Royce has problems with, and his athleticism is good enough to play right tackle, and he probably would be pretty decent. Like,
yeah,
I mean, honestly,
simplify it, and
everybody says how great his feet are. Well, then in his legs and how quick his feet are. Well, that doesn't help him at guard. Power helps you at guard. Being able to like hold up against somebody. If you got quick feet, you're going to get your butt kicked. You're going to get pushed off your line and pushed over. So,
yeah, I mean, I hope he can be better because they need him to be if they're going to be okay. Because right now it's like you don't know when Jenkins is going to be back. You don't know if Bakhtiari is going to be back. What
Dad is drinking the Kool-Aid from the Packers.
Eric, the more position they can play, the better they will be. Oh,
is that sarcastic, Dad, or is that really what you think?
I think so. I mean, come on. They do it because then you can save a spot, right? A roster spot to spend on a designated long snapper. Remember the old days when the designated long snapper could also be a backup tight end, or it could also be like we have to have a long snap.
Why don't you just
the hell, dude?
Teach a guy who's your backup the long snap. Like, how hard is it?
Outside linebacker or freaking tight end should be able to figure out a long snap.
Why can't a guard do it, or a center, like a backup center guard, do it?
Because those are the first, like on punts. Those are the first guy that's free. So you want to get a little bit of speed, So like that kind of like the backer, but they got to be big enough to handle if they get.
Yeah, well, the guy we had last year obviously wasn't big enough. He got his butt kicked and he got a punt blocked and lost the game.
That's why I remember John Kasdan was a professional long snapper for the Bears.
Who's that?
Former principal at Algoma High School.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was best buddies with Roger Craig or Dave Craig.
Yeah, Dave Craig. Yeah, he talked about it all the time. Yeah, I think
Dave Craig. He was my roommate. Dave.
It's a true story. Algoma High School, the principal we had, he played in the NFL as a long snapper. So that was a very impressive thing to put out there all the time. He talked about it all the time.
Well, I would too.
Well, I guess, but I don't even know how good of a long snapper he was because nobody paid attention to long snappers back then. Now we do because they get a designated spot on the roster, a freaking long snapper. That's all you do, and you get a roster spot. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. These specialists are so annoying. Like,
they better be. They need to be a lot better than what they are. If that's their job, it should be.
That stuff should be perfect every time. If that's all you do. Okay,
Dad's not sarcastic. Dad's serious.
Oh,
he's drinking the Kool-Aid of the pack.
Wow.
Offensive line is the most. He forgot important on the team.
Oh yeah, important. Okay.
Dad's not. He's not the best at texting on his phone.
Offensive line is the most important, and that's why when everybody's freaking about wide receivers and all this stuff, like you can have the super high priced quarterback, and you can have as much money in wide receivers as you want and great running backs, but if your line stinks, ask the Vikings. You're going to have some problems. Ask the Bears. You're going to have some problems. Ask any team that stinks. If your line sucks, you're going to have some problems. And we'll see how valuable Lucas Patrick was, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, last thing is that I had from this is that Jair Alexander is still terrible at one thing.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Those are some strong words.
He's still terrible at interviews. Oh my God. It's just, I watched most of it and I couldn't even finish it. It's just so bad. That dude needs to work on his interview skills. Now, he didn't put the glasses on like Julian this time. I think he saves that for like the big press room. This was a locker room interview. But it's terrible, man. His responses suck. They're boring. He barely says anything. It's just, he says the same thing about basically every question. He kind of answers the same.
That's what Sammy Watkins did.
Yeah, but at least Sammy Watkins gave you that he just was sad and got fat on the couch. That's at least something. That's like something. Jair
yeah, but they asked him what he could bring to the team, and it was the same answer as what he needed to improve on. And I was like, what? Okay.
Oh man.
I didn't see the Jair interview. I didn't see.
It was not good. I mean, it's better than it used to be, but still. Come on, man. You just signed a big contract. You're a star. And he did say that he knows he's the best cornerback in the league. He knows that, but he tells like other guys they should be that too, because it would be selfish of him to not tell them to think they're the best. But anyway, he knows he's the best. Anyway, if you're going to be the best and you're all these things, you got you got to be better because people are going to want to talk to you. You got to be better at locker room interviews. Work on it, Jair. Go do some trainings. I don't care. Spend your time away from, after minicamp and all that stuff. That's what he should have been doing when he wasn't there for OTAs. He should have been working on his interview skills.
He needs to just put the sunglasses on because then he just he says funny stuff. He's better that way.
Because then Adam Sandler might have to drop in and be like, I got the glasses. Yeah. Here you go. And then he puts them on and then he feels more comfortable.
Yeah,
and then...
that's what he needs, the sunglasses on.
All right. Okay.
I think that's all that happened, dude.
All right. Well, he was awful. He was terrible. All right. All right. Should we get into it? Chris Sims did some quarterbacks. Ben did a couple more quarterbacks. Do you want to go to your quarterbacks, or do you want to talk about what Chris Sims said about a couple of quarterbacks, including the Packers?
Let's talk about Chris Sims quarterbacks.
Okay. All right. So Chris Sims been putting stuff out. He said, we already mentioned how he said Baker Mayfield before the injury was really good. So maybe you were on to something when you said Baker Mayfield was pretty good and doesn't suck as bad as a lot of people said.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Now, Chris Sims played quarterback in the NFL. Ben did not, but still. So I'm just saying, like, some of the things Ben said, Chris Sims echoed. So
let's think. Who are Chris Sims? By the way, he hasn't announced the order of his top four, but his top four as of right now are Josh Allen.
Yep.
Patty Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow.
Wow.
And who were my top five guys? Allen, number 1. 3 was Herbert. 4 was Mahomes. And 5 was Joe Burrow. The only guy who snuck in there was Derek Carr, number 2.
Which?
That's the other thing I want to get over.
Say it. Say it.
I can't. No, let's talk about it later. We'll talk about it at the end. Because we're going to talk about a couple things. He also has Lamar Jackson at 10. I have Lamar Jackson at 10. Weird. He has Brady at 8. I got Brady at 6. He had Stafford at 6. I got Stafford at 9. Whatever. He had Prescott at 9. He had Prescott at 9. I have Prescott at... Yeah, he loves Matt Stafford, I know.
But he loves the fact that Stafford, makes ballsy throws.
Yeah.
Because that was a big part of it. And that was one of the drawbacks to a couple of guys.
Yeah.
That people might be even a little mad about.
Actually, I think he had Stafford at 7 because I think he had Russell Wilson ahead of him.
No, he had Wilson at 7 and Stafford at 6.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. Exactly. Yeah.
And he said that 6 and 5 were very close. Who
was his number 8 again?
Brady.
Oh, yeah. I just said that. Duh. Okay.
Brady, then Wilson, then Stafford, then Aaron Rodgers. MVP, back-to-back MVP of the league. Aaron Rodgers. And he said Stafford, 6 and 5 were very close.
Yeah.
So Matt Stafford was almost ahead of Aaron Rodgers when he went back and looked at all the games, all the plays. So he did a more thorough analysis.
I don't think he did all the games. He didn't do all the games.
But he did full games and multiple ones, right? During the season where he looked at this game against this tougher defense. Because that was the one thing he kept hammering home against some of these quarterbacks was, okay, great. You look great against crappy 20th, 25th ranked defense in the league. What do you look like against the good defenses?
That's what he said about Russell Wilson.
Right. And he should. And they also, him and Paul, they also said it about Rodgers in the playoffs in the last several years.
Well, what they said was, what Paul asked him was, hey, because he talked about Kyler Murray the week before and how he had dropped down. And he's like, was it the last playoff game, him and Aaron Rodgers that made their rankings go down? And Chris Sims said, no. What it was that last playoff game kind of opened your eyes to look back again and see those things that show up all year long. They just really showed up bad in the playoff games because the teams they went up against watched it on film and saw it and knew what to do to stop it, or knew what the issues those two quarterbacks had, whether they were too short and couldn't see stuff, or whether they just didn't want to take a shot and didn't take a chance and didn't play within the rhythm of the offense. And they knew that if they changed their formations and took away the quick throw by lining up one way and then changing to another play, it would confuse the guy and he'd sit there and hold the ball too long and then throw it into nothingness like a ding-dong. But anyways, they didn't say that part. I added that ding dong part.
But he did talk about Russell Wilson, and one of the reasons he had him lower was he said watching film on him, he doesn't throw over the middle of the field. He doesn't make the defense defend the middle of the field.
Yep.
He throws a bunch of stuff to the outside, a bunch of safe throws to the outside. Who does that also?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody I don't know who that is. I don't.
And he was hammering on that, and he's like,
he hammered on Russell Wilson, and I was like listening to him, and I was like, okay, I was waiting for the Rodgers to come next, right? And I'm like, is he going to be this hard on Rodgers? He wasn't as hard, but he did.
He did.
What he would say is he's my favorite quarterback, and he's like, you're freaking Aaron Rodgers. Throw the damn ball in there. That's what he said.
Yep.
Where Russell Wilson, he was like, yeah, he's too safe. And was it something that the Seahawks recognized, and that's why maybe they moved on from him? And I was like, "Ooh, are you going there, Chris Sims?" He did go there, and I was like, "That's why Russell Wilson, like, I got him at number 11. He's not even a top 10 quarterback in my. Well, Rodgers is 13 on Ben Hafman's top whatever quarterback, so he's not even a top 10 either. But that's the point.
I think based on
both of those two reasons,
and I think you should have lowered his leadership score based on his comments again here and his actions early this year.
Who?
I think
Russell Wilson?
No, Aaron Rodgers. I think you could have lowered his leadership score.
His leadership's a 3. How low?
I think you could have gave him a 2.
Okay, well,
listen to his comments.
Russell Wilson's got a 1.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, but he does. Like I said to you, individually he props up guys individually.
At times he has, but what has he done lately?
I don't know.
You're talking about going into this season, what they're going to do, not what they've all done in the past.
That's true. That is true.
Now, all Russell Wilson had to do was, instead of saying go Hawks, go Broncos. Now he just says go Broncos after every interview and every breakdown.
No,
and
he says let's ride.
Oh, let's ride. Let's ride. Okay.
Let's ride. There's a video of him practicing saying let's ride. The Broncos released
different ways, so you can figure out what's the best way.
Well, they're shooting a promo of him in front of a green screen, and for some dumb reason, they haven't even released the promo of him doing it yet. The Broncos as a media outlet, like they just released him practicing it. It's like the lamest. It's like the epitome of Russell Wilson. Like he practiced it over and over, like 7 times, 8 times, different ways. He's like, let's ride, Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. And like he kept doing it like it's somewhere. But it's like, oh my God, this guy is the fakiest fake. It's just, and I know, you got to practice, right? Like, like we were in acting and stuff, and you practice doing stuff.
Like, come on.
But I mean, if it's what you feel and it's a legit thing, but that's not like, even when he said it the first time, you could tell it was the most fakest. Like he must have came up with that. He worked on it for the whole time before he had his press conference, and it's like, because it was even like at the end, like it was like, hey, I just got one thing to say, Broncos country, let's ride. Or you know what I mean? Like whatever he did. And it's just like, cringy Russell Wilson.
I want to say this. Charles Woodson did not say, if the president don't want to see us to the don't want to see us to the Super Bowl, we'll go see him. White House on 3. Yeah. Come on now. He didn't practice that.
He might have, but he didn't practice it. He just thought it in his head, right? He didn't say it out loud practicing it. And that's the difference. When you say it out loud practicing it, that's when you know it's fake. It's like, But anyways, the point of the story is that Chris Sims is finally seeing and saying the things that we've been saying. That Rodgers doesn't take a chance. He doesn't. I've shown video for years on this show of him looking at a guy wide open, not pulling the trigger. Of him looking at Devontae for way too long when he's double covered and missing guys. Of him waiting and then at the last second, then dumping it off to the running back who's got nowhere to go because everybody is watching him and it's over. And Chris Sims saw it and said it, finally. But the thing I want to get into is what he didn't say in the negative about a certain guy, Derek Carr. If you go back and listen to where he had Carr, I think he had Carr ranked at 12 or something like that.
11.
Okay.
Yep.
Everything he said about Derek Carr was positive. how he's improved, all these great things he said. Like, not a bad thing. Nothing. Yet he only put him at 11. It's like, based on the way he talked, Derek Carr should be a top 5 quarterback. Or, I don't know, maybe even number 2, like Ben's, top quarterback ranking here. And when you listen to what he says, he's not always doing what he wants, I think. He claims he's like, I'm just going to do what I think. I'm not going to do, I'm not going to let, people affect what I think, blah, 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 blah. But based on his opinion, or what he even says about Derek Carr should be ranked higher. Derek Carr should be ranked way higher.
It was almost like, to me, he thought, well, right, he's factoring in how, and he said how people bag on him all the time, or people don't undervalue him all the time. And so he thought he was going to get a lot of heat for putting him at 11 or have big reactions to that. But then he said he's got great touch. He's got great arm strength. He throws a good deep ball. He can move. He can make plays.
He said his ability to read the defense and know exactly where to go with the ball. Yep. And then his he didn't say no look passes, but what he meant was no look passes, like the ability to anticipate throws and windows and see, and based on the coverage and all that kind of stuff. And he even said, he's like, with Josh McDaniels' offense, he's like, I think he's even going to be better this year. Like, I think he's going to be awesome this year.
Right.
And that's that was his justification for putting him at 11. I'm like, I think you should have put him up higher. What do you think about that, Rick? Eric Dahl, your quarterback. Even Chris Sims had nothing. He had really nothing bad to say about him. So why is he at 11? Why shouldn't he be up ahead of Aaron Rodgers? He should be at least 5. I think he should be at least 4, and maybe even ahead of Mahomes at 3. And based on just thinking about it,
he's not as. So the thing is, when you look at him, he's not as flashy talented as any of these other guys, right? And maybe that's what gets people caught up. But he does all the things that a quarterback should do well. And he's got some inconsistencies at times, but so does everybody.
Yeah, sometimes he makes dumb decisions. That's true.
Right. But, like rifling the ball in there, leading his team, processing information, taking hits, standing in the pocket when things are rough, maneuvering the pocket. He can get out and run a little bit. Again, he's not as flashy of a runner as other guys. He's not quite to the same athleticism as some other guys, but when you look at you look at the total package and you're like, where's the weakness here? Whereas bunch of these other guys have weaknesses in some spots.
Yeah. And which brings us back to Devontae Adams. What did he say this week?
Whoop.
What was the other thing besides what he talked about Aaron Rodgers, possibly his Aaron Rodgers' future as a Packer? He also talked about the comparison between Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers, and he said there really isn't that much difference between the two. So,
except Derek might want me to run over the middle more.
Yeah. Well, he's better. No, what I'm saying is, I don't know. I'm just trying to justify my Derek Carr number 2 because I wasn't sure about that. But because I did that ranking before I heard Chris Sims do it that week, because that was on. Oh, I guess that was last week, so maybe it was after. But I can't remember exactly when it was. But he.
No, you did yours before he did that one.
Yeah, I can't remember if I did.
Yep. Yep. You did.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, there you go. So, but I mean, listening to it, I don't know if anybody here, you should listen to it. Listen to what he says about Derek Carr. It's like he says a lot of good stuff, and he never says anything bad. And you should also listen to the stuff he says about Rodgers. And then so you don't just think we're bagging on him.
And also that Chris Sims has said, and says it again, that Aaron Rodgers is like his favorite quarterback of all time.
Yeah. He says
but
it
this
on that
is
thing.
His honest assessment of his play. Too safe, too careful, won't cut it loose when guys are open, especially over the middle. The tight end's open, you won't cut it loose. Then you hold the ball too long, you're waiting for Devontae to make a move. And then sometimes that means a wasted play or a sack, or you throw it to the running back late and he gets crushed.
Yeah.
And that's why you ranked Rodgers the way you did in anticipation throws.
Yep.
Because he doesn't.
He doesn't take them.
He won't. And it's not that he can't, because he used to do it all the time, like we've said.
Well, the last time we saw him do it,
he doesn't want to throw. He is known for not throwing interceptions.
Right.
That is his biggest calling card. That's the thing he's going to go down for. That's how he won the MVP last year. Let's be honest about it.
Yep.
He wasn't even close to other guys in yardage. Brady had way more yards. Brady had more touchdowns. Like, I don't know. Maybe Brady should have won. Other guys had way more yards. Other guys had more touchdowns. Like, but Brady had 12 picks, right?
Yep.
These other guys had more interceptions. So everyone was just so in awe. Look at only that many interceptions. Oh my God, it's amazing. So that is how Aaron Rodgers won the MVP last year. The year before, he won it because he had the best stats and he was on a number 1 ranked team. Last year, he won it because he was on a high seeded team, was number 1 seed team, I think, but also because he had the fewest interceptions. That amazing interception, just doesn't throw them. It's so amazing. So amazing, Ben. But not amazing to Chris Sims anymore.
Chris, he also said one thing that was interesting too, and I just forgot it because I read what Dad wrote. Dang it. Who knows? It's probably Aaron Rodgers, Dad. I have no idea. Don't really care about wins right now. Do you know?
Regular season.
Are you asking a rhetorical question, or are you actually asking me if I know? Because I have no idea.
Dad might just be asking. Rick will
I forgot what I was going to say.
Rick's the stat guy.
I got it. Okay, so he also said this. He said, looking back, and so did Paul Burmeister, they're talking about how...
It's a great point by Rick.
They're talking about how Packers
games
were like so close. Like it was like, like it teetered on just doing enough to win the game in the end, right? But they didn't really... sorry, David. But they were talking about how they didn't... crap. How they didn't like... They were so close games and blah blah blah, and it was like they just barely squeaked by. That's what. And then Chris Sims said, "Yeah, but a lot of them shouldn't have been that close,
right?
Because Rodgers didn't take the shot. Like they'd have a lead, and then he'd be like, I'm just gonna dump it off, or I'm just gonna throw it away, and we'll punt or take the field goal, and we'll be fine." And then they kept doing that, and drives kept stalling, and guess what? Because remember how everybody was always like, why do the drives always stall? Oh, why are the drives always stalling? Well, I'll tell you why, because Aaron Rodgers ain't taking the shots, people. So even Chris Sims is saying it, finally. All I know is this. I feel vindicated. That's all I'm going to say. I've been saying it for years. And finally, a national broadcast guy, a former quarterback who loves Aaron Rodgers more than just about anybody in the world. He says it's his favorite quarterback of all time, and his dad was a quarterback in the NFL, for God's sake. So his favorite quarterback is not even his dad. Okay, whatever.
That's crazy. That's right, crazy.
That's a little
but
crazy.
Phil Sims also said the same, echoed. He said, you're right on about Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, Phil Sims is a little wacky. I think he's getting crazy in his old age. But anyways.
Yeah, I like him.
But if our dad played quarterback, he'd be my favorite quarterback. That's all I know. Anyways. But I'm just saying, I feel like, hey, guess what? Go back 3 years ago and listen to a guy say all this same stuff. It was this guy. Even when the other guy, I went the wrong way. That guy never wanted to believe it and kept defending him over and over and over. And it told me I was crazy and I was wrong. No. I was right. I said the worst thing that ever happened to me was Game Pass because I finally saw the truth. And it makes me sad.
You watched Game Pass. I told you, I watched every single Aaron Rodgers interview his entire career.
Well, that's dumb.
I did because I wanted to.
Because he's almost Russell Wilson-like.
I know, but you know how, like, we were both really ready and excited for the guy who was taking over for Favre because we wanted somebody that wasn't going to do a bunch of dumb crap like Favre did and blow playoff games. Well, this guy just blows playoff games by not being aggressive.
By not doing anything, yeah. It's weird. It's the exact opposite. Yeah.
So it's why we can't find a guy that has that medium ground where he's aggressive enough but doesn't do the super dumb stuff, and then we win all the Super Bowls. I don't know why. Maybe one day we'll get there as Packers fans. But so I was rooting for the guy. I was super excited, and I liked how he handled that whole first thing. That whole first year. It was a bunch of crap, and he got treated. There was a lot of crap that went down, and he dealt with it well. And at some point, stuff changed. And then he became all about him. And he cast his family aside. And then he did, all these other things. And it just more and more about him. And now, like we've said, he's turned into the same sort of situation as Favre was toward the end. But the biggest thing was I watched all those interviews and I thought he was a reasonable guy. I believed what he said. And that's why I was still looking at the other side, still thinking, okay, well, maybe there's this going on. Maybe there's that going on, whatever. But when he showed his true colors this past season, especially the way he responded to the controversy when he got COVID and all that stuff came out, that was it. And I saw it and I was like, but then you look back on all the other things because you see what the person is, the person, not the player, the person. And when that happened, then all those other things added up too. And you're like, and Stephen A, okay, like I know he does a show and for effect and whatever, but he even said at one point, he's like, well, how do I believe anything the guy said now? And I'm not saying he lied all the time, but I'm saying when he wanted to cover his ass, Aaron Rodgers is all about self-preservation and putting himself in the best light possible at all times. That's what he's most concerned about. And that's why he doesn't want to take the chance to potentially throw interceptions because that makes him look bad. So if that's what you're about, is all about you, that's not the guy I want lead my team. That's not the guy I want as my quarterback. And that's why I woke up and was like, okay, we're done with this now and ready to move on too for all those things. And then you hear the comments of guys like Juwan Winfrey. And I'm like, and I'm just thinking about how you play football. Football is a game with 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense. Like you need to have a plan. You need to know what you're doing. Guys need to be all on the same page. And why is he making that harder for his teammates? That's the question I keep asking. Like, I understand he wants to play this cool way and do that and try to think his brain is so big and he can outsmart the other team. But he's one player. And that only works when all the other guys can be on the same mental plane as him. And that's not how football works. Guys learn. They practice. They learn plays. You call a play. That's the play. Why does he... I just think it's so selfish of him because he wants to play that way. It's detrimental to so many of his teammates. It blows me away. And that's also a part that I woke up to and was like, yeah, this is not cool. This is not the way you should be a leader or a teammate. You don't demand guys play the way you want to play. You figure out what the hell the guys are good at, what the coach wants, what the team is good at, how you can be the most successful, and you feed into that. And you do your best as a leader to make everyone better. But for years we've heard Aaron Rodgers makes all these other guys better. Bullshit. Aaron Rodgers makes football harder for all these guys. And they have to be better in order to play his way. And it's bullshit.
Hey, you better calm down.
Okay, sorry.
All right,
I didn't think I was going all the way there. Maybe I went too long.
You went a little crazy there.
Okay.
Rick's got some numbers here. Tom Brady, 119 wins in 157 games. Number 2, Russie Wilson, 104 wins, 158 games. Aaron Rodgers, third with 98 wins in 144 games. And then Dad says Rodgers has less wins because he has less games. That's true, but Tom Brady only played 13 more games than Rodgers, yet has 21 more wins than Rodgers. So therefore, that's not true. Rodgers has less wins because he's less. Yeah, and then Rick said pretty much what I just said, but yeah, Tom Brady has 21 more wins and only 13 more games. So it's Tom Brady. Now, is he on a better team? Possibly with a better coach. Definitely, especially for a lot of that because Mike McCarthy was.
Hey, who doesn't believe in McCarthy magic? He's still in Dallas.
But
okay.
Dad, I think, is getting sick of us talking crap about Rodgers. He must like him or something.
It's fine.
I don't know.
Fine. It's
Sorry,
fine.
Dad. We love you,
I'm just
Dad.
saying, think about that.
We hate Rodgers, but we love you.
It's not that I hate him. I don't like
well,
what I just said. I don't understand how people aren't on board and it's not registering in your brain. 11 people. One guy's making it harder for everybody. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Even if you're the smartest person in the world, not everybody can operate on the same level as you are the exact same way. So as a team, you figure out what's the best for the team, and that's what you do. Aaron Rodgers thinks he's above the team. He demands people play this way. That's clearly been proven. It's not what's best for the team, or we'd have more Super Bowl victories in the last 12 years.
So the question is, what is
Period.
best for the team? Is Jordan Love best for the team?
Oh,
Well, let's take a look at the Ben
hear what you
Hafman
say.
quarterback ranking system, and let's see where Jordan Love falls. Would the Packers be better off if they just handed the reins to Jordan Love and ran the Matt LaFleur offense? Let's take a look.
Let's say no, but go ahead.
Jordan Love, these are all, I'm going to give you all 15 stats I gave him. They're not good. Arm strength, 5. I gave a 5. Accuracy, 3. Touch, I gave him a 4. I don't even know. That's probably too good. Throwing from weird angles, I gave him a 4. Anticipate throws, I gave him a 3. Read the defense before the snap, I gave him a 3. Read the defense after the snap, I gave him a 2. Probably generous.
I give him a 3 for the weird arm angles. I don't think he's quite that good
Okay,
at that.
well, it's okay. So I already gave him 1 point more than I should have.
Okay.
Pocket presence, I gave him a 2 because let's face it, when somebody's blitzing at him, he just chucks it up like a ding dong, right? Escape ability, I gave him a 3 only because he's apparently athletic, though I've never seen him really get away that much and run away. Escape the throw, I gave him a 2 because I've never seen him do it. Escape the run, I gave him a 3 because apparently he's athletic, so I gave him a pretty good I've never seen him do it, but that's what I hear.
I know they keep saying that he's
I know.
athletic, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't
get away
look
from
that
people.
athletic.
Yeah.
Called runs, I gave him a 2 because the Packers don't call runs anyways, but if they did ever call it, I guess he's apparently athletic. Leadership, I gave him a 2 because he just doesn't seem like a guy who's like he's a good leader. He's just not. He doesn't. And part of that is Rodgers is on the team, right? But he just doesn't own. Like when you walk in, like when Baker Mayfield walks in the room, he owns it. He owns it, right? When another quarterback walks in a room, I'm going to mention later, he owns it. What else? Intangibles, I gave him a 2 because and then decision making, I gave him a 1. So he started with a 5, ended with a 1 at the very end. So if you add all that together with a possible 75 score, he got a 41. A 41. Think about that. That's almost 20 points less than Josh Allen's 60. It would be 20 points. No, Kirk Cousins got a 46. So a 41 total score. So even with my harsh Aaron Rodgers ranking that I gave, which ended up with him at a 51, this guy is 10 quarterback points less than Aaron Rodgers. Would that be better than Aaron Rodgers at this point? No. The best thing for the Packers is for Aaron Rodgers to play. The best thing for him to be playing like, good Aaron Rodgers, not play like ding-dong Aaron Rodgers. But, and yeah, and Rick's saying Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's awesome. Yeah, he's got a better winning percentage than Russell Wilson has, and he's number 2, right? Okay, yeah, we're good.
Okay, can I help? Can I give a little? Lions, Tigers, Vikings, Bears. Not Tigers, but Lions, Vikings, Bears. This division has been
Russell Wilson's better.
trash. This division has been trash for a long time. That gives
Okay.
you a lot of wins.
I'll give
but,
you
know.
Jets,
That's
Dolphins,
true. That's true. East was
Bills before Josh Allen.
Right. That's
Okay.
true. That's true. Fair enough. So that's the key to winning a bunch of regular season games, playing a garbage division.
Yeah.
And Brady did it forever, and Rodgers done it forever.
And Russell Wilson was in a division with the Arizona Cardinals and the 49ers, who sucked for a lot of that time.
Yeah, they made the playoffs at 7 and 8,
And
or
the
7
Rams,
and
who
9,
sucked
or-
for a lot of that time. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't until the last 4 years where those teams started being awesome.
So maybe not amazing. Maybe we should think about that, Rick. Terrible division helps get you wins, but anyway, wins are wins.
Okay, we're done with anyways. So Jordan Love, not the answer. At
Zero
this
had
point.
some questions here.
What's that?
He's like, Ben, how would you have graded A-Rod's rookie season?
I don't know. He didn't play. I don't know. Probably
Didn't
not
know
much.
about him.
Probably a little bit better. His leadership, I would give a little bit better.
Back then, yeah.
Because back then, when he walked in a room, he took over the room. Now, some people didn't like it. Like he called Favre Gramps. It said he was a moron because of his low Wonderick score.
Yeah,
but
that's true. And he also walked in the Pioneer, the Pio in Eau Claire back in his rookie season. And yeah, didn't you know that?
No.
Yeah, there was a story about he was in Eau Claire for something. I don't remember. It was like a little Packer showing or whatever. And he went to the Pio. Nico knows the Pio. Nico went there a lot. And Aaron Rodgers was drinking at the bar and all this stuff. And like, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm a new quarterback for the Packers. And everybody's like, who the hell are you? We got Brett Favre. We don't know who you are. But he thought he was a big deal then. He tried to claim it in the Pio. But they said Brett Favre's the man, not you, kid. Anyway, true story.
Well, yeah. Well, here's another quick side. Another quarterback I did was Carson Wentz. He got a 49 based on all the numbers I put in there.
49?
Yeah.
Okay.
The low lights are leadership of 1. Read the defense after play at 2. Decision-making of 2. Intangibles of 2, because apparently his teammates don't like him. They'd rather have everybody else play instead of him. But, of course, the highlights are arm strength 5 and a bunch of 4s and athletic abilities and stuff like that. So he ends up with a 49, which ties him with Matt Ryan. So, 16, 17. He's not that great.
Hey, let's we'll finish that up. And then we got David has an interesting comment that I want to revisit or I want to bring up here.
Well, now comes the secret weapon of all quarterbacks. This guy. No, this guy.
Who is it?
This guy is sitting on a backup role on a team right now.
In Baltimore?
Backup. The Packers could get him right now. No, not in Baltimore.
Oh, I thought it was Tyler Huntley.
No.
Because we were going for like Brett Hundley didn't work out. But
I'm going to give you the stats, and then you tell me who he is. Are you ready? Arm strength, 3. Accuracy, 4. Touch, 5. Throw from weird angles, 3. Though I think I probably should have given him a higher score there, but I only gave him a 3. What's the next one? Anticipation throws, 4. So not many 5s, only 1 for, what did I give him? Touch. Read the defense before the snap, 4. Read the defense after the snap, 3. Pocket presence, 4. Escape the pocket, 4. Escape the throw, 4. Escape to run, 3. Called runs, 2. Leadership, 5. Intangibles, 5. Decision making, 3. What quarterback is that? Anybody in the chat, let's tell me again. I'll go through the stats one more time. Arm strength.
I know it.
Arm strength, 3. Accuracy, 4. Touch, 5. Throw from weird angles, 3. Anticipation throws, 4. Read the defense before the snap, 4. Read the defense after the snap, 3. Pocket presence, 4. Escape the pocket, 4. Escape the throw, 4. Escape the run, 3. Called run, 2. Leadership, 5. Intangibles, 5. Decision making, 3. I think the decision making could be higher, actually. I think I might have actually left him down a little bit on that. Also, throw from weird angles could possibly be a 4. So you could add maybe 2 points to this. And by the way, if you do add 2 points to this, he would be the number 3 or 2 quarterback tied with Derek Carr. Because as of right now, his total score is a 56. This quarterback. With those rankings, there's a lot of 3s and 4s and 3s and 2. But they're legit. And when you hear the quarterback's name, you got Tannehill. No, I already mentioned Tannehill last week, Jonathan. Not the backup for the Ravens. He's a backup. He's a backup for a different team.
I got to guess.
Well, does anybody else have a guess? Rick? Okay. Anybody else? Rick? Anybody?
My first guess is terrible, so I'm going to give it to you. Ready? My first guess was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Leadership of 5. Intangibles of 5. Intangibles of 5.
And my second guess is the one that maybe is right. I don't know. Did he used to be a Packer once upon a time?
No. He is still currently in the NFL, a backup on a team right now. Not Jameis.
I was gonna say
arm strength of 3. Remember, arm strength of 3. Jameis has got arm strength of at least 4, if not better. These are the key stats that'll help you figure it out. Arm strength of 3. Pocket presence of 4. Leadership 5, intangibles 5. Leadership 5, intangibles 5. Who would have leadership of 5, intangibles of 5, and only an arm strength of 3? And he's not one of the guys I've already mentioned.
See,
So
this
it's
is
not,
what Rick.
because Tom Brady
that's what
has
I was
those.
thinking, Rick.
Tom Brady has those 2 stats, but he doesn't have. His arm strength is 5. This guy's got intangibles 5, leadership 5, arm strength of 3, but he still ends up with a 56 rating. And if I bump up that 3 to a 4 for weird angles and bump up the 3 to a 4 for decision making, he's a 58, which ties him with Derek Carr at number 2 and 3, just based on those stats.
That's not Taysom Hill then, because
Nobody's guessing it?
It's terrible. I thought Taysom Hill at first.
When
too.
you hear the name, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah." Gardner Minshew, baby. Gardner Minshew with a 56 overall rating. Let's go over the stats one more time so you know they are exactly legit for Gardner Minshew. Think about it. Arm strength 3, accuracy 4. What was the next one? Touch 5. Throw from weird angles 3. Though I could give him a 4, I think. What's the next one? Anticipation throw 4. He has to do anticipation throw because he's got a weak arm. He's one of the best at it. Read the defense before the snap 4. Read the defense after the snap 3. That's the average score. Pocket presence 4. He's got great pocket presence. It might even be a 5. I actually could have bumped that up, but I didn't. All the respect for only gave pocket presence to Tom Brady for 5 and Joe Burrow. Escape the pocket 4. A lot of times he escapes the pocket and keeps going. Escape the throw 4. He does that all the time. He's great at it. Escape the run. He does get first downs and run and do crazy stuff. Escape the run. Called runs. I only gave him a 2. Leadership 5. Because let's face it, everybody loves the guy. He's the greatest leader on a football team. Intangibles 5. He just wins. He just moves the team. Yeah, even on crappy teams, the Jaguars, where they do lose because their defense sucks and they get screwed by the refs all the time. But he just wins. Decision making 3. I probably could have gave him a 4 because he doesn't throw many picks. So if I bumped up, I probably should have made him a 58. But just being conservative, he was a 56. Think about that. Aaron Rodgers was a 51. Gardner Minshew is 5. Mustache? Well, yeah, it'd be a 5. He'd be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Mustache? Aaron Rodgers.
He'd be the best quarterback in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers' mustache sucks compared to Gardner Minshew. Throw in jean shorts, boom, or jorts or whatever they're called. Gardner Minshew, number 1 quarterback in the NFL. But think about that. All those stats, I think they're legit stats. Based on this ranking, he is better than or equal to Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Mac Jones, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, Gardner Minshew, possibly even better than Justin Herbert, Patty Mahomes, Joe Burrow. If I bump up those 2 stats, Gardner Minshew could possibly be. Oh, what's 0 say? Once you're a backup, you never stop being a backup. That's not true.
That's not true. The guy who just retired, Fitzmagic. Never gave up being
All
a
I'm saying is this. We could have that guy as our quarterback right now. He's a backup on the Eagles right now. Just sitting there waiting to be taken.
Jalen Krabby
because the dumb Jaguars drafted stupid what's-his-face, and they traded him because he was better than him. And they're like, crap, we can't have him here because the fans are going to really, really want him, so we got to trade. No, that's what they did last year. They're like, we got to trade him. Because they drafted, oh my God, I'm so bad.
Trevor Lawrence,
thank you.
I don't
they
understand
drafted Trevor Lawrence, and they traded him because they knew the fans would be like, oh, we need him. I know he's not better than him. I know. But he's got more athletic ability, and he's got this and that, and blah, 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 and all this crap that doesn't matter. What matters is winning, running the offense, knowing what you can do. Yeah, his arm strength is 3. Who cares? If you anticipate throws and read defenses, you know you have good pocket presence. You're able to move and get out of the pocket if play breaks down. And you just have like a moxie, the intangibles of being a leader and leading the guys. And the guys know when you're in there, things are going to happen. That is Gardner Minshew. Should be the Packers quarterback. Let's trade for him right now. Trade Jordan Love. The Eagles apparently love athletic ability. Trade him straight up. Jordan Love for Gardner Minshew right now. And then if Aaron Rodgers retires next year, boom, we got ourselves a quarterback who can run the Matt LaFleur system. lead the team, be another crazy Southern guy from the South who's wacky and crazy, just like Bart Favre. It's perfect. He doesn't have the arm strength, but he's got intangibles of leadership and crazy, cool, fun. Hello? It's right there, everybody. It's staring us in the face. And he's a good guy.
We missed out on with Ryan Fitzpatrick retiring. We missed out on Ryan Fitzpatrick all those years. 17 years, 9 different teams. We could have had him on the Packers at some point.
Yeah, but
been awesome.
Fitzmagic was wacky and crazy. He would either do something totally awesome or something totally bad. Where Gardner Minshew just always does.
You would have been the perfect
awesome.
follow-up to Favre. Like, oh my God, what if he backed up Favre at one point? Oh,
well,
would have been.
Yeah, that would have been something. But anyways, so there you go. What does everybody think? I think we start a petition. Gardner Minshew to the pack. Let's go. Gardner Minshew to the pack.
I like it.
Trade Jordan Love to the Eagles. They love athletic guys who are ready to go. He would fit the system with Jalen Hurts. He just, instead of having a guy who's backing up Jalen Hurts who's totally different than Jalen Hurts, he'd have a guy who's closer to him. We would have Gardner Minshew, who's a great leader, awesome guy, ready to take over and take when Aaron Rodgers retires. Boom, we got him. Just saying.
I mean,
we'd have the best mustache in the league, the best mullet in the league. Boom.
He's got to be better than Jordan Love. I mean, if they already know that Jordan Love is not really going to be anything, then what are you doing, right?
Yeah.
Let's get a guy who's been successful, who's done good things, different places. Like you said, rallies a team. Man, it's good stuff, man. I like it. I'd be down for it.
Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I've done some research. Gardner Minshew is a top 6, possibly top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and he's a backup on the Eagles. That makes no sense to me.
Can't believe he's not starting before Jalen Hurts.
He should be starting. He should
terrible.
be starting on a team. But teams invest into their draft picks. They invest into
Young
their
guys,
veterans, and they don't take a chance on a guy because they think this guy could be better than what we have. It's the same thing with the Wiener Boy trade and Baker Mayfield. It was dumb. And the Jaguars are dumb when they have a guy who's a great leader, who the fans love and will show up for games. Let's face it, when you're the Jaguars, that's really all you have to go for as fans, is to root for the guys you love on the team. And you trade them away for just because you think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be something someday. I don't know. I couldn't believe it because when I got them all up there, I'm like 56, dang. And I was even conservative on a couple things, and I was like, holy crap.
Zero likes Heineke better, but maybe that's
he's very similar to Gardner Minshew. He's actually not younger than Minshew, actually.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
No, he's actually older.
Wow.
He's very similar to Gardner. I think Gardner's got him beat in leadership and intangibles, though. He's just got a little something more. But Heineke's probably got more athleticism running outside of the pocket and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he should have beat the Packers a couple of years ago when they played. They should have lost They should have lost a bunch of games.
So next week,
that goes back to Phil Simms talking about all these games being so damn close for the Packers, and why are they so close?
Because we have a guy who doesn't take shots.
Ask yourself that question.
Teaser to come back next week. Next week, I will do 2 or possibly 3 former Packers and take them through the Ben Hafman quarterback ranking system.
Wow.
And I'll do it at their height of their career, so we'll see where they show up at. So, spoiler alert: Bart Favre is going to be in there.
There was a Magic Man.
I can't actually do. Yeah, Magic Man will be in there.
There was a Magic Man memory put up by the Pack here this week that talked about his years in Green Bay and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Oh well,
Magic Man he's the best.
Also next week, because our time's up this week, but also next week I want to talk about this. This versus AFC. We'll talk about it. Because I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting.
Well, I mean, look at the quarterback ranking that I have tells you right there.
Yeah, but who won the Super Bowl last year?
That's true. Yeah, as a whole, he said. Not teams as a whole.
Okay. Well, that's maybe.
But I mean, it's based quarterbacks. My number 1 quarterback, AFC. My number
Well, that's
2
what they.
quarterback, AFC. My number 3 quarterback, AFC. Number 4 quarterback, AFC. Number 5 quarterback, AFC. Number 8 quarterback, AFC. Number 10 quarterback, AFC. So there you go.
Yeah, but as you know, we can have a top quarterback who's won MVP and still not win in the playoffs. So we know that one all too well.
When was the last time the guy
And
who won
also-
the MVP actually won the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I have to look that one
Tom
up.
Brady. I think Tom Brady.
Tom
did.
Brady, probably. The other thing I know is that the Packers do not have the best player at every position.
Yeah, they do. They got Jair. They got Aaron Rodgers. They got Dave Bakhtiari on the sidelines wearing the shorts and the hat.
As much as they want to say
He's
they
the best
do,
left tackle. He's just not on the field. Come on.
They do not have the best player. at
Elton
every
Jenkins,
position.
He's the best guard in the NFL, but he's
I don't know it. He's as
not
good as
he's not
everybody
out there.
thinks,
He's
but
also the best center. Hey, he's the best guard. He's also the best center. Apparently, he might be the second best tackle in the
He can
NFL.
play anywhere he wants. He's so great. I understand. He's so great.
They have the best blocking tight end out there. He's almost like another tackle out there. I mean, come on, he's the best.
I'm gonna just say this: as Packer fans, think for yourself at times. Like whatever the Packers put out, or some of these players, agents, or whoever's like spinning some of these narratives to put out that this guy, we have the best, this guy's the best, this guy's the best, this guy's the best. Just take a look at it for yourself and listen to the things. Listen to the things that we're telling you, that we notice, because sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, but sometimes we're right. And what I will tell you one thing: we don't get swayed by that stuff because we learned our lesson a long time ago. And how do we learn our lesson, Ben? Who is the first player that you can remember that came out and said, self-declaration, I'm one of the top guys in the league? And he was nowhere near that. Who was it?
Tyrone.
Tyrone Williams. Tyrone Williams.
And the second one was haha.
Tyrone Williams was a terrible cornerback for the Packers back in the day.
Who got a couple lucky picks in the playoffs and then said he was the best.
He said it. Literally what happened. This is what happened. He said at a Packer practice, preseason practice, yeah, I'm one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league. He came out, said he was one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league, and the domino effect was this. Green Bay media, Tyrone Williams, one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league. Stories written that day. Tyrone Williams is one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the league. And then all of a sudden, around the league, well, at least in Wisconsin and everywhere I looked, people thought he was one of the top cornerbacks in the league. And I was like, what? Based on what? So don't be fooled. Use your eyes, use your brains.
The only thing I want to add to that is we're not saying these players suck.
No.
We're not saying they suck.
No.
They're
They're
good
just not
players.
the best.
Right. So I don't want anybody to think that we're like, because we beg on Rodgers all the time. Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers is a very good
he's
player.
Still damn good. Hello.
Yeah.
But it's just
could be even better if he threw over the middle.
In Bakhtiari's case, how good are you if you can't be on the field? You're not that good. You know?
He's got to come
Sorry.
back. He's great.
If you're not playing, you can't be ranked. That's why if you notice I didn't rank Watson on my quarterback rankings, because he's not playing and he's not gonna play and he shouldn't play. Matter of fact, he shouldn't even be in the league anymore. He shouldn't be on a team. But whatever. Apparently you can be a Predator, but you can't kneel during the anthem. Whatever, I guess. I don't know. And don't get me wrong, the anthem is great. I'll stand and pledge allegiance to the flag just as much as anybody else. You know? And I understand being upset about that sort of thing. You know, that I get that as a fan, being upset about it. But that's not hurting anyone. It's just taking a knee. And that guy got pushed out of the league and never seen again. And this guy, sexual predator on the internet, once a week for 17 months, the highest paid player in the history of National Football League. Doesn't make any damn sense. Doesn't make any damn sense. It makes me wonder if we should really even be NFL fans at this point. But whatever.
Hey, Brad Miller. Shout out to Brad Miller who got his song on NBA promo
yeah.
video for the NBA Finals. Now the Bucks should be there, but they're not there, so we can't be as excited. But we are excited for Brad Miller who got a song that he created on the NBA promo video.
For people who don't know, Brad Miller, who is the other half of my band that I have, that is not really a band, but we make music. It's our theme song. He plays the guitar on all the stuff on that song. So, yeah, he does a guitar solo. Cool. The one time we hear the guitar solo that played the guitar solo the one time, but you don't really hear it in their intro. But yeah, so there you go. Brad's playing all the guitar parts there.
David never understood it. David, it's all about hype. If you can build hype anyway, they'll do it.
They say it so they get paid. They want to make the money. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
and I can't blame them. I would love to make money. So hey, I'm not gonna poo on him. Like if I was playing, I'd be like, I'm the best. Hey, just so you know, I told my daughter today I'm the best singer in the world. So it's not like it's what I do. I told my daughter, I was like, what do you do when you go to school and you have your dad's the best singer in the world? Do you tell anybody? She's like, no. And I'm like, well, I'd be telling everybody if I was you. I'd tell everybody my dad's the best singer in the world. And she's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, why the heck not? Am I great? Am I a good singer? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, am I the best singer in the world? And she's like, well, I don't know about that one. And I'm like, am I the best singer in the world? And she still wasn't sure about that. But, whatever. It does put a target on your back. If you suck even a little bit, it puts you out there. So you got to have serious guts.
That's why it didn't take long for Tyrone to be found out. He was found out pretty quick. And took a little longer, but not that long. Yeah. People knew. Just the Packers. They're a little slow on the uptake there. It takes the Packers a little longer to figure it out. A la number of guys, Brian Bulaga, etc. Okay, well, that's all we got for tonight. But thanks for hanging. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for the feedback. Sorry, we got so much on Rodgers, but there was so much said. And of course, the Big King was finally back and made some comments.
He actually showed up, so we
had to talk about it. But I promise you this. If you're getting a little tired, a little worn by all the Rodgers talk, we will focus on guys, other players, and people we're excited about on this team in future weeks. How about that? Let's talk about some guys next week, Ben, that we're excited for this season that we think are going to be able to do something. How about that? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to turn it. Well, I mean, if something happens, we'll have to talk about it, but we'll turn our attention more to some of those things coming up. I am excited about examining the wide receiver group because I don't know. I don't know who's going to make this team I don't know that's going to be that big of a mystery based on the fact that certain things are in place with some of the veteran guys and then these these rookies that are going to make the team. And it's an interesting group. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some other guys. The offensive line is going to be the scariest to me right to the end, but I'm sure it'll work out. We got Steno. Believe in Steno always, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. You guys are great. Be good. Stay good. And we will catch you very soon here for another Hafen Bros. Time to hit the outro.
Stay safe. Brad Miller on guitar.
Brad Miller. Congrats. NBA.